This video will show you how to create lessons with sections in your Project Share course. To create your lessons, you will need to be logged into your course. You can make sure you're logged into the correct course by looking up here at the top and making sure that your course name is there. Once you're ready to begin your lessons, click on Lessons. And then you can add a lesson in two places, either right here underneath or over on the right hand side. So I'm going to click on Add New Lesson. You have a couple choices of how you want to get your lesson brought into your course. For the most part, you're probably going to choose the Lesson Step Wizard. It's the easiest and it'll walk you through exactly how to do it. So I'm going to choose that one. Okay, there's just a little bit of information about what we are doing. And when you're done reading that, you click on Continue. Now this section here, the title is what's going to show inside of the lesson. So this is going to be the name for your particular lesson. So I'm going to call this one ePortfolio because I'm going to be teaching a class on Project Share. Okay, notice that again, you only have to fill in the fields that have the red asterisk. So right now the only thing is the title. You can of course choose to fill any of those in if you would like. You do have to say when you would like the course lesson to start. So if you want it to start today, you can leave it like that, or you can click on the little calendar to select a different start date. The great thing about lessons in Project Share is that you can hide the lesson from the students. So let's say that you weren't quite ready for them to begin that lesson, but you wanted to get your whole week created. So you could click on that box and actually hide that lesson until you're ready for it to show. But I want mine to show now, so I'm going to uncheck that box. Now here in the title, this is pretty much the same thing that's going to show on the very first screen. So I could call this my intro, and then in the content, this is your typical HTML editing screen that you've seen throughout Project Share. So I'm just going to type in here for the sake of time, I'm just going to keep it short. And remember that if you wanted to, you could change the font and size. You can add files right up here at the top, or images, or even YouTube videos. So it's just like all the other editing screens that you've seen. Once you're finished creating your first slide, you can click on Continue. Okay. So now you are going to be creating your sections underneath of your lesson. So in my case, it's my lesson ePortfolio, and my first section is going to be about my contact information. Okay, so now notice that you have to put in a keyword. So just put anything in there that's going to tell a little bit more about your lesson, and then again you'll notice that you have your HTML editing box again. If you wanted to add content from the content repository, which is a great resource of a lot of different lessons and videos and articles, you could click right there and add some of that content. But for now, I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to explain what contact info is. Okay, so again, I'm just, for the sake of time, just putting a little bit. If you wanted to add anything to your lesson, all of that is right here, and it'll walk you through the steps of how to do that. But I'm just going to click on Save Section. Okay, so now you can see in my lesson title, ePortfolio, I now have one section called Contact Information. So I'm going to click on Add Section because I want to add my next section to my lesson ePortfolio. And my next session is going to be pictures and video. Okay, again, I have to have a keyword because of that red asterisk, so I'm going to put that in there. And then again, I have my editing box. Okay, so there's a little bit of information, and remember, this is where you could put your assignments if you wanted to. You know, I could add down here at the bottom, go and add a picture of yourself. Okay, I can put in a PowerPoint for the students to look at. Okay, anything that you want to do here in this screen can be put right there in that editing box. Again, you have the option to add anything down here at the bottom and then save your section. So now we have two sections, the contact info and the pictures and video. So let's add one more section, and I'm going to call this one Welcome Notes. Okay, and you have to have that keyword, and again back down to your editing box. Alright, so again, just a little bit of information. If I was really making this into a lesson for my course, of course I would have a lot more information. So when I'm done, I'm going to click on Save Section. Okay, so now you can see that I have my lesson titled ePortfolio, and I have 3 sections underneath of that lesson. So let's click back on Lessons, and now you can see this is my main lesson. So once I click on ePortfolio, now you will see my different sections, and I can scroll through them using the next button. Okay, so as you can see, as I click next, the titles of the lesson sections are changing, and I can go through until the end. Okay, if at any time I need to click back, I can just click back on there. If you need to edit your lesson, you can click on Edit Lesson, and that's going to take you back to the screen where you originally created the title of your lesson. Okay, the main title, all of that can be changed right there. Or if you needed to change your lesson sections, once you are inside of the lesson, you'll see down at the bottom, you'll see Edit Lesson right here. Okay, so if I click on Edit Lesson again, I'll get to that screen. When I click on Continue, it'll take me through to the different sections. So I can add another section, or I could edit the sections by clicking on the pencil. At any time, you can delete either sections or lessons by clicking on the trash can. Okay? Remember that you can have as many lessons as you'd like and as many sections in the lessons that you would like. You just need to create it so that it is user-friendly for your audience. And that is how you create lessons and sections in Project Share.